Hi, this is Kim, and welcome to the channel. Today we're going to talk about some hanging plants that I have out on my porch and deck. I do have some hanging over the kitchen cabinets, but we're going to talk about the ones suspended by chains and ropes and things. We'll begin with my Hoya carnosa. I've had this for a little bit of time here through this season, and it seems to be growing really well. This is a succulent plant. It holds a lot of water in those waxy leaves and is said to bloom beautiful fragrant blooms. I've only had that once in my lifetime with an old Hoya that I had years ago, but nothing blooming on this one as yet. Now I look for signs. I guess a little spur would form and form a fragrant waxy looking flower, but I've not had anything like that. It does grow these really long tendrils, and I know I've been told not to cut those off. That won't stimulate growth and things like that, but it wants to wind over everything. You can see how they reach out and try to find something to wind over. So I've really got to watch what I put this next to, because it wants to intermingle with this big shade potted plant that I have underneath it. Now I'm not sure why that has the little I don't know, hole in the end of the stem. I hope something didn't break off that was essential. But I really like the coloring of this plant. The new leaves are kind of a bright pink and stay pink edged and pink for a really long period of time. It's a pretty hanging plant, and I will take that inside during the winter here in Ohio. Now one of the other plants I want to highlight today is my curly spider plant. I really think it's a very beautiful spider plant. I've had a few spider plants before, but never the curly one. And I really like the way the little vines or the little leaves or ribbons kind of twist in almost a corkscrew or curl shape. It's really pretty. I have it kind of closest to the screen so it'll get the most sunlight, and I understand that will keep its variegation. But this is a really nice plant. I'm hoping to have lots of babies. I've not noticed any unless they've just recently come through, and I just haven't noticed the stem yet. But I don't have not seen any babies forming yet on this particular plant. But I'm hoping to have those soon. I haven't had it very long. I think I bought it about 3 or 4 weeks ago. Can't remember if I did a plant haul video for that or not. But it's a really nice plant. Now, another thing that I saw on sale at some of the garden centers was these 3-tiered baskets that you use in the kitchen for, I don't know, tomatoes, onions, some other kind of vegetable. But they sold them for plants to hold. So I just got mine out, popped it in. I've got the pothos on the lower section, and then my little Pilea peperomoides fit on the top. I thought that looked cute in its little pink planter. Nothing yet for the middle section, but my pothos is doing real well here. It's getting fairly full and it seems to be content. I think this one is the golden pothos, and it's kept most of its variegation here. I have this one kind of about 5 feet away from the screen, 6 feet away, so it maybe gets a dimmer portion of the light since the eastern sun comes in at an angle, and this would be the shadier end. But that's another one of my favorite plants. I have a lot of pothos in my house, as you've seen in some of my other garden tours. Now I have a few others that are hung here, but I don't. I'm not going to feature them. I'll probably feature them in their own little film later on. But we'll just concentrate on these 4, as I've mentioned in my post back on the blog. I do like that little Pilea. I think it really looks nice. And I can take some Excelsior or moss and stuff this and even give it a prettier look. but since I just recently hung those, I think they're looking good just as they are. But these are the ones that I have currently on the screen porch. Now, I do have another plant down on the deck that I am planning to hang. It's a bridal veil. This one is, I have it in a peacock blue planter, and I just think it's such a really pretty, delicate looking plant, but it seems very easy to grow. It has tiny little white flowers that kind of stand out from the foliage in a cloud, and so I guess basically that's the reason why it's called bridal veil. The tiny leaves are, it's a Tradescandia type plant. It's in that family, and it does have the purple underside to the leaf. But I'm not sure if all the little balls are the spent flowers or a seed that drops after the flower dies, but there are a lot of those on the table and around the floor underneath these plants. So maybe you can help me to know if those are the seeds or whatever. But this is a really enjoyable plant. I haven't had a chance to hang it yet. I've got to get the right length of hanger and length of cord to get that done. But I can see it's going to be one of my favorites. And again, this has to come in the winter with me. It would kill it to be outside in Ohio. Isn't that a pretty vivid color of purple? I really love those tiny little leaves. And I'm sure with a little extra sun, it'll even get bushier and tighter. Once it hangs, I'm hoping it'll develop into a big globe effect and wind down over the bottom of the planter. Can't seem to get a good focus on that little flower, but this is going to be a nice hanging planter for the deck. So thanks for joining me today, and be sure to watch some more videos.